I've logged back in to my account, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this someplace directory that we had fooled around with last time. Oh, yeah, oh. Okay, so I got rid of that with rmdir. Now, what we're going to learn about today is something called the VI editor. Now, if you're using Ubuntu, which is a Linux distribution, the first thing you want to do before you want to stop this video and you want to execute this command, okay, that will install the full VI editor. Otherwise, you have VI Tiny, and VI Tiny is dreadful. You don't want that. So you install this, it will, and you'll have all the bells and whistles, and it will take just a minute or two. Okay, now, otherwise, you're good to go. So, how does this work? Okay, we're going to meet a new Unix command today. Its name is VI, okay? And as you've probably surmised, every Unix command is actually a computer program, okay? So this is an editor. So you type VI, and then you give it a name for a file. So we're just going to call this sampler. You can give an extension or not give it an extension. It doesn't matter for now. Later on, you'll see that extensions cause VI to color contents of files, and we'll see that today. So hit this and then hit enter, but don't type anything yet. Now, if you don't see a line number here, just do this. Type set number. That'll give line numbers. Then your screen will look exactly like mine. Okay. So what is in this screen? There's some mysterious stuff here. 0, 0, -1. That's telling you something about where the cursor is on the screen. It appears to be in line 1. So the VI editor is not like Word or a text editor, or Word. And it's also not like your text editor. If you use Atom or VS Code, VI is a little different because it is what is called a moded editor. And when you enter VI, you're in command mode. Okay? Command mode gives you a lot of capabilities. But before you can do anything meaningful, you need to type some characters in. So that means you need to get into insert mode. The most basic way to get into insert mode is to type the letter I. And when you do that, you'll see in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, it's telling you you're in insert mode. And in insert mode, into the file. Okay, so in insert mode, you can type text into the file. It behaves pretty much like your text editor. Okay, and I'm going to put in a few blank lines here, and I'm going to say I. Okay, now to get out of insert mode, hit the escape key. It's in the upper left-hand corner. You're now out of insert mode. Now we can begin to see what happens in command mode. Try hitting the arrow keys. Okay? The arrow keys move you around in the file. Okay? You're still in command mode. Now, if you're a gamer, try hitting the H key a few times. Try hitting J. Try hitting K, try hitting L. H, J, K, L work like the arrow keys. And if you're a gamer and you like those keys, use those keys. You have a little advantage there because they're actually quicker than getting at the arrow keys. I happen to use the arrow keys. But a lot of things in VI are matters of personal preference. Okay? So now we're going to get back into insert mode. So if you type something, go put your cursor on top of a character, type I, and then type some X's. the thing you notice is that the characters appear before the cursor. So I'm going to hit escape and get out of here and come down here to the end of the line. All right. Oh, I need to enter insert mode another way. Type A. All right. You type I to enter insert mode before the cursor. All right. A is enter the insert mode after the cursor. Okay, these both get you, there are many ways to get into insert mode, but we're going to focus on 3 of them. All right. Here, hit escape, arrow up, and type O. Okay, so think of what happens when you step on a cat's tail. What does it say? Yow! Okay, that's how you can remember those 3 commands. So there are 3 basic ways to get into insert mode, or I, A, and O. Now I'm going to show you 3 others. I'm going to go right into the middle of this line, and I'm going to type capital O. Let's hit escape to get it. And if you're in command mode and you hit escape again, your system's going to beep at you, but it doesn't do any harm, okay? Because that's sort of the basic or normal mode. So if I hit capital I insert at the beginning of a line. I'm going to get rid of those characters. Okay, so that's a useful thing. So if you're in the middle of a line and you want to insert something at the beginning, and you're in command mode, you type capital I, you're back to the start of the line. Okay, and then let's see what A does. So go anywhere in a line and type A. You're in insert mode at the end of the line. So the capitals are just more so. And then finally, capital O the cursor. The most common place I use capital O is right here. Capital O. I mean, of course, you could enter insert mode, hit enter, and then go back up. But you may as well just hit capital O, okay? So these are the 6 basic ways to get into insert mode. Okay, there they all are, all right? A smart idea is for you to get out a piece of paper. Make yourself a little cheat sheet. And as you learn things, put them on the cheat sheet. You can download cheat sheets from the internet, but this is a smarter idea because it'll sort of force you to organize your thoughts, and it'll give you a cheat sheet that caters to your preferences and needs. Okay? Because VI is very powerful. You can do a lot of things with it. There's an entire book. There's an entire O'Reilly book on the VI editor. It is a very, very powerful tool. You might think in the beginning it's clunky and slow, but it turns out that it's not. Reason being is that your hands don't leave the keyboard. Personally, most of the time when I'm operating on my Mac and I'm using an application, that application most of the time is a terminal, and that terminal has a file open with VI, and I'm editing with VI. My entire computer science textbooks are written in VI using LaTeX. I use it when I program. I use it for pretty much everything. It is the fastest way to get bytes from your brain into or you get to take ideas in your brain and turn them into bytes in your machine that you now have recorded in a permanent way. Okay, so it's really a great way to get information into the computer, and you're going to see that there's a lot of power here. Now, let me mention up here, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Okay, you have, as of now, we have two modes, command mode. Some people call it normal mode, I call it command mode. Okay. Okay. It gives you mobility. You can move around a file very fast. You can search very easily. There are copy and paste capabilities, and you can read from files and write to files very easily using VI. Then we have insert mode. What does insert mode do? It allows you to type text. Okay, so the characters appear pretty much as they are on your keyboard. Okay, now let's actually do something with VI that's of some degree of use. I'm going to go like this. Make this file hello.py. Get in insert mode. Every Unix machine will be able to run this. And type the following: print hello world. Okay, that's it. I went in insert mode, I typed print hello world, I hit escape. Now, I didn't talk about how to get out. How do I save my file? :W. I use a colon command. :W writes a file. :Q quits. :WQ will write and then quit. So I now have a file called hello.py. Hey, let's cat it. Ooh, look at that. Now type Python hello.py and boom. God, that program's mysterious, isn't it? It's totally inscrutable as to what it does. Oh, watch me take advantage of command line history. Do the last thing that began with VI. That's pretty mysterious, isn't it? It says print hello world, and guess what the thing did? Printed hello world. Python's a very useful language. I can highly recommend it to you. It's fairly easy to learn how to use. It's powerful, and it does some pretty wonderful stuff. Okay, so there's one use of VI. Another use of VI is you can do this. Now, you don't already have this, but you can add these 3 lines to your .bashrc, and you will have my capability of having the system ask before it clobbers a file. So this alias is a renaming. So the remove command will now execute with the I option. The move command will execute with the I option, and so will the CP command. You'll notice that quotes are needed because there's a space present inside of here. And one thing that's really important, don't put a space on either side of that equal sign, or you'll get annoying error messages. Type this exactly, precisely as you see it. Just turn the video back to this and go ahead and type it in exactly as you see it. And your system will behave like mine. You notice I also put an alias C clear. Clear clears the screen. So I can just go C enter and I can clear the screen. If somebody comes along and I don't want them to see what I'm doing, I can clear my screen with a single keystroke. It's kind of a useful thing. So this is your .bashrc file. You can make your own aliases. And you might as you go along. So I'm going to go ahead and go :W Q. All right. So let's go back to our original file sampler. And let me tell you some command mode commands. Okay. One type of command is a colon command. Okay, when you're editing a file, the file's in RAM. A copy of that file is in RAM, and you are editing something in RAM. And what you want to do periodically to protect it is to save it to disk. And all you have to do is type :W, and it will write the file to the disk. :Q quits. Now watch this. I haven't written in a while, and if I go escape, back to command mode, :Q, look what it says. No write since last change. It's protecting me from my worst enemy. My worst enemy being my own stupidity. It's telling me there's no write since the last change. Now, if you actually want to do that, Q bang, bang is my standard name of exclamation point. Quits, abandoning changes since last write. And I'll put one other handy thing here. Okay, here's a command that's not a, okay, undo. Hey, let's have a little fun with undo and see what we can learn about it. All right. Okay, I'm going to make a file called undo file. All right. Now I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to hit escape. Now if I hit U, look what happened. That last chunk of change got undone. And if I hit U again, look what happened. If I want to make them reappear, redo undoes undo. It's a colon command. Okay? Redo undoes undo. So let's go into my little cheat sheet here that I've made. Okay, so, and you have quite a bit of layers of undo, you know. So if you make a mistake, escape U, develop that reflex. Escape U, and you get out of insert mode and you undo the last insert. Okay, you can always redo it by hitting :redo if your mistake was in fact a mistake. Now here's some other colon commands that you're going to find useful. Very commonly, if you're programming, it's going to tell you you made a mistake on line 17. Or maybe you made a mistake on line 1701. And you don't want to arrow all the way down there. Here's one way you can do that. Mobility command. :number puts you on that line number. Hey, let's put that there. Let's add that to our repertoire. :. Okay, takes you to the specified line number. Now here's another thing you can do. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and say the arrow keys. H, J, K, and L are gamers. So if you're used to using H, J, K, and L, they work in command mode. So command mode, one big thing command mode is about is mobility. Another thing right here, these are all file operations right here. Okay, so there's my arrow keys. All right, and that sort of properly belongs down here. All right, let's see if we can sort this into something. Okay, here. These commands, mobility. Or no, file IO. That's file input, output. There they are. All right. All right. And so I'm going to do this. Oh, here, I'll show you a new command that you haven't seen before, escape. DD. That line has been deleted. It has been cut to something called Mabel, the unstable buffer. And P pastes the contents of Mabel. So that's a quick way to move a line. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and say something here about mobility. All right. See, I'm building this little cheat sheet, and now I'm going to DD these two lines because I don't want them. All right. So these are all mobility commands. Now here's another mobility command. I'll hit escape. I'm going to go GG, and where did I go? Right to the top of the file. All right. So, hey, that's a good mobility command, GG. Go to top. All right. And capital G, go to bottom. Okay. So we have some basic ways to move around. We know how to save our file. We know how to get in and out of insert mode. A couple other things I'll mention that are kind of useful here, because I don't want to get too far into the weeds. Okay, so if you say :W and then a file name, it will save a copy of your file to the specified file. But if it's going to clobber, it'll give you an error message. Okay, you can do this as well. This will overwrite a file, and then finally this :W double greater than sign file name. That does an append, so it sticks it on the end. So if you are going through a file and you want to pull out little snippets of it, say you're reading a test document and you know how to search and you're searching and you want to pull out little excerpts, you can use this command repeatedly to accumulate them into a file so you can do something with them. Like this is a handy tool for writing a research paper, because then you can gather up notes and you can figure out, you can create citations that way for the notes and know what's going on. Right? So we have a variety of ways to save the file. :W writes to the disk. You can save a copy as. That's how you should think of that. That's save a copy as. This is clobber an existing file with your file. This is add your file to the end of an existing file. And let's go ahead and put this in here. WQ writes then quits, and notice the W and Q keys are right next to each other, so it's very quick. And if you do QW, you'll get an error message. Because, you want to, Unix is protecting you from making a mistake. Okay, so you have lots of command mode commands, and the best thing you can do to get good at this is you can practice it, because there are, you need to make files and try things out, practice things. Okay, Now, one other thing I should mention is, let's talk about copy paste a little bit. And mobility. By the way, these two commands you can optionally proceed with a number on this. And you will go over that many spaces. And the same thing's true here. A lot of commands, you can proceed them with a number and do that thing that many times. Obviously, you're not going to do that with GG or capital G, but 5H will move you 5 spaces in the H direction. 5 arrow key will move you up 5. You'll never go off the end of the file. If you do something like, here, I'm going to do 1,000 in up arrow, watch what happens. 1,000 up arrow key. It's just going to go far as it can. It's going to stop. Okay? So you can go 5 right arrow, 3 down arrow, and you can move that many spaces. Okay? Now, let's talk about copy paste just a little bit, because you're going to want to be able to get rid of things. And these are command mode commands. You have to be in command mode to do these things. X erases the character the cursor's on. Here, let's go up to the top. If I type X, I just deleted that character. If I type 5X, I deleted 5 characters. Okay? So you can proceed with a number because it makes sense. All right? X. So X erases the character the cursor is on. DD, I should say not deletes, but cuts. Okay, where's Mabel get her name? Mabel gets her name because Mabel is unstable. If you delete a line and then go on and do something else and then you delete another line, whatever was in Mabel gets evicted. So every time a copy operation or a cut operation occurs, or you erase a character, because that's a cut operation, that thing gets sent to Mabel, and whatever was there is kicked out. Okay? So if you're going to use the contents of Mabel, and here's how you do that. Okay? You P to paste. All right? So DD cuts, P pastes. Okay? P pastes Mabel's content. So that allows you to do this little trick. Here's a common thing. Oh, I misspelled receive. Oh, crap. Go back over the I. Type XP. Here's what happened. When you typed XP, X, let's undo that and put it back. Okay. When you typed the X, the E got cut to Mabel, right? X. And now P pastes after the cursor. So P pastes after the cursor. Okay. If you want to paste before the cursor, all right. Okay. Yep, so XP twiddles 2 characters. That's a nice little trick. Okay, but it does wipe out the contents of Mabel. So if you're going to cut something with an intent of pasting it, paste it right away. Now, you might wonder, can I proceed this with a number? Yes. All of these commands, these 4 commands, can be preceded with a number. This one, no. Yeah. Actually, if you go 5XP, it will cut the 5 characters and then paste them afterwards. So yeah, I guess you can. But I don't know how useful that is. Now, DD has a friend called YY. So if you want to copy some lines to Mabel, you yank them. That's it. That's the word yank. YY yanks to Mabel. Yanks the lines. I don't know who thought of yank, but that's what it does. It yanks to Mabel, and then P pastes. Okay, so you can. One other nice trick related to this guy. DDP twiddles 2 lines. Here, let me illustrate. I'm going to come here. DDP. See, it just reversed those 2 lines. Okay, so we have basic capabilities with VI. There is something called the Vim Tutor. It's online. I highly recommend you visit it to expand your knowledge. But this, what you have here, gives you basic abilities to do the sort of day-to-day things you need to do. Now, there's a couple of other modes in VI, and I'm going to handle those in another video. There's visual and replace modes. Replace mode is very simple. It just mows down characters. But visual mode does some very powerful things that are extremely useful to programmers. I'll just give you an idea here, just so you can see this happen. I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing. But look at that. I just did a mass indent. Okay. And also, I have not talked about search. I think I will handle that in a separate. Video. Search and replace and all that. Those topics. I don't want to do too much at once. But you now have the basics. You can edit files. You can copy lines. You can move them around. You have the basic abilities to edit files. Now, if you have a favorite programming language like Python or Java, I highly recommend you try, here, let's go ahead and do this. Notice that because I have a .java extension, I get colors. If I have Java installed, most machines have Java installed. Most Unix machines have it. So I'm going to say public class hello. All right, open curly brace. Now I'm going to type in a bunch of mumbo jumbo. And you will see why I don't recommend Java. It's a great language for beginners because of its verbosity, but it is actually very powerful and an extremely useful language, especially if you want to do things with creating graphical programs. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and write my file. Okay, so I created this little file. Let's see what it does. That compiles it, and see I get a .class file. Now I'm going to say Java hello, and this runs it. Okay, so if you have a favorite programming language, try writing a little program in it. Okay, if you know how to use HTML, you can give an HTML extension And HTML will be colored, so will CSS. Almost every language under the sun has syntax coloring with Java. And syntax coloring really helps you stamp out mistakes. So this is the fundamentals of VI. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about visual mode and how to use visual mode. And then in a following video, I'll talk about search and replace, so we're not overwhelming you with new material. See you next time.